Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Baron Zemo from Marvel Comics and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, this is going to be simple, very simple, because it's just him in a coat. That's really about it. Let's see, because I mean, we're going to try to make him dynamic and awesome, you know, but his TV costume is just a simple coat and clothes. That's really about it. So let me try to do something a little more dynamic, I guess, with the costume and kind of do him with his fists up kind of thing, you know, a little more powerful, a little more Victor Von Doom kind of thing, you know. There you go, something like that. Just a little, just to break it up, just to make it a little different. I'm looking at my hand when I do this because I'm looking at a tablet that's got like a standard picture that's got some details, but I don't have him in his pose. So I don't mind telling you, and you should do it too, is use yourself as a reference whenever you can. Because unless you're missing a limb of what you're trying to draw, you got everything you need right there, so you might as well use yourself as a reference to draw what you need, right? And you're always going to be there. Look at it that way. Again, unless you're missing a limb, and hey, that happens. That's the crazy thing about life, is every now and then something happens and somebody may lose a limb or not be born with something, and that's fine. That's life. That's how it is. The amazing thing is, especially the people that aren't born with these limbs, the resilience and change, how they make it work. I have a friend whose daughter was born without arms. Crazy, right? But she is learning to use everything else and is probably more agile and powerful than you are. I'll tell you that right now. So crazy, right? But again, these a person like that is born into it, whereas you, if all of a sudden you lost both your arms, you would have to learn how to cope, how to deal with that, right? But being born like that, your body's recalibrates, I guess is the word I'm trying to go for. Recompensates for not having the things we're used to, right? Ooh, there's a little short here. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, because that means the knees are going to be here, the feet would be right there, maybe? No. Let's see if I can extend it out just a little bit. Yeah, because the legs will be here, the knee might be there. Here's going to put this to the foot right there. That'll work. So, is anybody watching the show? Pretty awesome, isn't it? I didn't know where they were going to go with this. I didn't know how they're going to deal with Zemo and all this stuff. And man, is it a good show. That's all I'm going to say. I won't spoil it for anybody. But, you never know. We didn't know what they were going to do with these Marvel news shows, so to speak, It's like, well, where are you going to go with this? What are you going to do? And man, are they awesome. They're really, really good. I am super impressed. Sorry, you know what I realized I did? I had the neck way too high. And probably the elbow too. That one was too high. That's what it was. That one's got to come up like this. This is going to come down. And let me change out the jacket a little bit too. A little thicker, right? Okay, so for his mask, I guess. How are we going to do this? Because let me draw his eyes first, and then I can draw the mask. Because there's a bunch of lines, and you know, it's like what do we draw, and what do we leave for color, so to speak. I think this shape, like the eye shape around it, I think that will leave for color, but for the rest, we will draw the lines, because it's got these seam lines that are pretty predominant for his look, right? It's very specific, these lines. That's not too bad. All right, and I fleshed it out a little bit too. The more I was sketching, I was like, ooh, I did it too tall, and then I made his arms a little too small, where he seemed a little tiny, right? So I had to flesh out the arms, so to speak, to make it standing at this height. Does that make sense? Because that's why when I drew it, I was like, why is it so tall? Because I had made him tiny. But I think that's good. I think we're ready to jump over to the sketch portion, because we're gonna make the fur and all that stuff, and you know, we'll make it as we go. How's that? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna erase some of these pencil lines, because I want my Sharpie to stand out, not my pencil lines. And when I first started laying lines down, those were my sketch lines. And that was just placement, trying to figure out where I was going to put it, that kind of stuff. And as I got more confident, I pressed harder. So those confidence lines, they're going to take more pressure to erase, and I'm not pressing that hard. So what we're doing is we're getting rid of our sketchiness, and we're keeping our confidence. Okay, so I think I'm ready to go. I say we welcome all the skippers and get going. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than the fine point. It can find things that a fine point can't quite find. I've sketched the entire thing out. I've erased the majority of the sketch lines, but left myself enough to see where we're going to go. And if you want to see more Marvel characters, check out that playlist there, or just check out the playlist in general, because I do so many. I may have already drawn what you're looking for. So I'm going to dive right in with the Sharpie pen and draw his eyelids, the top of them, okay? Something like this. Ooh, a little high. I didn't mean for it to be like that, but that's okay. I'm gonna recalibrate for what I did. I'm gonna draw his retina, the color part like this. And then it's so tiny, all I can really do is dab the pupil like this, just to put something in. You're welcome to put more, but once I go past that, it's gonna start to bleed. So I'm just gonna do the bottom of the eye, just a little bit of a line like this, because again, it'll bleed if I draw the entire line. You're welcome to do it, but mine will bleed with these Sharpies. So I'm just gonna do that to imply the bottom. Color will take care of the rest, and the bottom of the retina implies it too. Now, for his mask, I just talked about this in the sketch portion. I'm gonna go ahead and draw the eyelets. Eyelet, not eyelid. So it's almost like a skull-shaped eye hole, right? And try to smooth that part out a little bit more. And the color is going to take care of the shape that goes around it. We're just going to draw the seams. Okay, so it seems like I know what I'm doing. All right, so let's draw the shape and then we're going to draw the seams. Okay, that way we kind of get an idea of the shape of his head, and then we can draw the connecting seams. Okay, so there's his chin because his nose is there, mouth is there. There's his chin. I'm going to draw his jawline up like this. Same thing over here. A nice strong jawline. His character doesn't have a big strong jawline, but his mask does. Okay, so I'm going to draw up and I'm going to come out for a little bit for the ear. So here's his cheekbone and out for the ear just a little bit. So we're kind of emphasizing that there's a lump there for the ear. And if you see, I'm starting to thicken up my edges. When I switch over to this, it's a huge difference in line width, so I'm kind of making up for it. So you don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm just explaining to you why I draw, how I draw. Okay, again, I'm gonna do some ear raising right there. Okay, looks good. So now we're gonna draw the shape of his head. So I'm gonna come up a little bit straight and then curve, right? Because we're kind of giving it a certain look. And then I'm gonna curve it up like that, okay? And I'm just gonna go ahead and make it around. I was gonna say we should bump it for the seams, but you know what, I'm just gonna make it around like this. It's not perfect, but I'm okay with that. Oops. I want to just try not to thicken up the line too much like that, but I can make it work because I am thickening up my lines. So see, where I didn't get it thick enough, I just thicken up the opposite end to make it look uniform, right? For his uniform. Grandpa joke. And so, like I said, for me, it's fine because when I switch over to this, it's going to be super thick anyway. So I don't mind that I had to go that thick. Now, for his seam lines, let's go ahead and we're just drawing lines. That's it. It's a double line. I'm not going to lie, but we're just drawing single lines just to give him his seam. Okay, that's the way it seems. All right, I didn't connect it there because, again, it kind of curves and does all this stuff with the color, and I'm leaving more of like an option there kind of thing. Okay, so because it has a ridge, I'm going to kind of do like this and come back up, right? Because his brow has a ridge right there, and I wanted to kind of accent that. So again, these are supposed to be double lines because of the way it's sewn together, but we don't really have, not space, it's just too tiny to do that. So I'm also going to kind of play with the contours of the face. So cheekbone, cheek, jaw, right? So same thing, we're going to do the cheekbone, cheek, into the jaw. Just to kind of show that the face is flowing like that, right? So this line is going to kind of go into the eye and finish off the curve like that. So I'll go ahead and do it like this, right? If you can, go for it. If not, if it's too small, don't worry about it. But this is going to follow the curve of the eyelid right there, okay? All right, so this side is going to come through like that. This side's going to come through like that. And I think that's all we can really see for the ears anyway. I'll draw a little line saying it's coming through like that, but that's all we can really do, and that's good. That's what we got to do. That's all we need to do for his helmet. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? I usually switch over, but because he's got a fur collar, I'm gonna do some fur with this. That's what fur. So I'm gonna accent like this, but I want it to be more subtle. I want it to be not as hard edged as a coat. So that's why I'm going with the small Sharpie. Just giving it this little thinner line. I guess that's the best way to say it. That's his he's got a turtleneck, so that's what that's gonna be. And I can just draw the edge of it like that. just to kind of show, again, that it's fur and subtle. You know, it's not this gigantic thing. So it keeps it simple. Now add some simple lines just to kind of show, yeah, it's fur, but we're not going to draw all the hairs. It's subtle, right? All right. Okay, so let's switch over. So I've got his arms up. He's kind of holding them, kind of tough guy, right? Let's see. So here's his coat. I kind of want to draw the coat and then we can build around it, right? So let me at least draw the front lapels and then we can draw out from there. So it's hanging down like this, right? And then the edge of it, or the lapel, right, is coming through here, coming up like that. Same thing here. This one's coming through. Oop, I need to draw the edge first. I just said let's do that and then didn't do it. Something like that. Again, it's just going to be an open coat, that's all. There we go. I don't think there's anything very special in there. Like maybe, yeah, I do see a few lines. So let's do that. At least you can do a few like this. You know what? Let's do it with color. I'm just going to say that's the edge, and then we'll do more with color. That way it can kind of stand out a little bit more for design versus it's when it's sewn. What would you call that? Design versus pattern, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so his shoulders are just coming down here like this, right? They're underneath the coat, like that. Okay, and so this one is more foreshortened, so this one you can see out, this one is more pointed at you. So let's draw the coat like this. And then the arm is going to come out of that, okay? I guess we should go ahead and just draw the whole coat now that we have that edge, right? So you see where it's going. Because it's just kind of hanging there, you know? And we'll add some detail, like a button or two, that kind of thing. But I wanted to give you an edge of where that arm's going to be to show you the elbows as well, because that's a big factor here too. So his coat's just going to be kind of bent, coming down like this, all wrapped up on itself because of the way he's holding it up. So the elbow is tucked into itself, but coming out like this. Okay, does that make sense now? That's why I wanted to build off that edge. Okay, so it's coming out like this. And then I'm going to draw more of the edge here. And then add some more creases and folds. Just because that's such a stressful bend right there, I like to add creases to show that it's really stressing the material out. All right. Okay, so this hand is going to be up. They're both going to be up in a fist like this. It's just different, not positions, but yeah, I guess different positions, right? Different angles. That's the word I was going for. Different angles. So this one you're looking at kind of the side, and he's got a glove on. So I'm going to draw the back of the hand like this. There's the front of the hand. And there's the glove, what we'll say. You're going to see his pinky, which is going to be kind of all tucked in, right? And then it's coming back here. And here are the knuckles for the other fingers. Now the thumb is kind of over most of them, so I want to draw this first. That way I know what's going to go underneath that. So other fingers coming back. This, like that. So pretty simple, but you kind of have to place things correctly first so you can know what's in front, what's in back, and what do you need to draw, you know? And I don't have good pictures of his gloves, so I'll worry more about it with color. And that's all I gotta do there. Okay, so we're kind of doing the same thing here, but in a different position. Not as high, but same elbow height is what I'm trying to say. So the arm's gonna come down here. Gonna cover itself up. So there's the elbow, right? It's gonna come back up this way, but the hand's gonna be right there. So now you're looking at the flat end, like just this end right there. So I'm gonna draw the knuckles. I'm gonna draw the finger, the middle finger, a little blocky. And then the thumb is kind of over all that, right? So see what I'm saying? No, it's doing the same thing, but different angles, different heights, and you can only see so much, right? So I'm gonna draw the edge of his coat like this. Now I know what I can build behind that. So I'm gonna come in here, do that. There's a lot of wrinkles and folds over itself. The edge of the coat like that, we're gonna put here and then build off of that, okay? Again, it's a coat, so there's only so much we're gonna be able to do anyway. But we get to add wrinkles and folds because of the bend on the crook of his arm, you know? But again, for the hand, that's pretty much it. That's all we're gonna do because you can't really see it anyway, and color will hide anything else, or not hide, sorry, that's a horrible way to say it. Color will accent anything else we want to accent, all right? So his coat does have a little bit of a pattern to it, so I guess I can throw that in there. I mean, the downside is it's mostly coat, his drawing, you know? So let me add the edge of it, and then we will add some detail, like some seams and stuff like that, okay? And that's what I mean by, like, well, he's mostly wearing a trench coat that's covering all that up. So, again, let's put a little bit of detail into it because there is a pocket, you know, and then a little bit of a pattern. It kind of goes up like this. And that kind of accents the original design of him. Like he had, like if you look up the concept design, it's really cool. He had like these belts, you know, connected to another belt, like straps to a belt, and it was really cool. But I mean, I get it. They can't make him look like a you know, comic book bad guy that yet, right? I mean, they can, but they can't, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And they're going to say these are his button loops. Again, I'm just kind of giving him something because it's such a just coat. That's all it is. And the buttons, we'll go ahead and put those over here. And this is just like almost like that, just a little pattern. That's kind of a cool sewn-on design. Same thing, we'll do that little strap thing going up like that. Can't see as much of it from this angle. But there, it kind of breaks up the negative space, right? Not much down here. Yeah, it's just coat, that's it. So now we're gonna draw the rest of him. So he's wearing a turtleneck. So let me draw some of his shirt like this. And it's got like a seamed pattern. And I'm gonna put his belt like this. But again, see, it's you know, because it's a trench coat, you don't see much, you know? He's got this cool little strap over seamed pattern thing that we'll do like that. Just again, just to kind of make it the material, the costume design, right? That's the thing, is a lot of people put a lot of design and a lot of work into these costumes, and I like trying to appreciate that, trying to show what they did, because you know, it's not just the actors. You know, a lot of people put a lot of work into this. Background people. I worked on a set one time. I got to paint a wall. I think I've talked about this before. that was going to be used for like 2 seconds. And even when you watch the show, you barely even saw all the work we put into it. But people do that for a living. They have to design these walls. They have to paint these walls just to be background stuff. And so, like that, costumes, I appreciate that people are putting that much into it and want to give it a little bit of appreciation, you know? It's almost too thin. I'm trying to thicken it up just a little bit. I want to give it a little bit of appreciation, so I try to draw the costumes as close as I can because someone put a lot of work into that, and I think that's amazing. That's also why there is a costume Oscar nomination, you know? I mean, it's worthy of being appreciated. All right, there we go. Okay, so pants are pretty much in there. You can't really see much anyway, so we're just gonna draw like his crotch would be right about here. So I'm gonna just draw some seam lines and say that his legs coming through like this, right? Let's draw a pant zipper. Again, just to try to break up the negative space. There's not much I can really do because, again, it's just kind of, you know, in the background. Okay, so I'm going to bring it down to his boots, and I'm pretty sure he's just got pants all the way down to shoes. So in other words, not big superhero boots, you know, just regular old pants onto boots. Alright, same thing over here, just bringing it down. We can't really see much anyway, so just kind of doing this onto shoes. Now I say boots, but I meant like a what do you call it? Not a work boot, but a European boot. That's the front view. Let's do the side view, and then I'll add some detail there in a second. Okay. Okay, pants, we're just going to kind of do some creases and folds because, again, that's all it really is. Okay, and so for shoes, we're going to draw the front. We're going to draw kind of like we did there, a little bit of a tread like this. Tread there. Front toe, and then we're going to put like a little lace thing across, a little bit of a heel, and I think that's it. I think we should do the rest with color. So that is Baron Zemo. So here's how I colored it. Tell me what you think in the comments below, or show me what you did in our Discord group. Just have fun and make it your own, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with How I Draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.